All right, now we're going to go to a C-SPAN piece that was done on March 12th in the early morning hours, March 12th of 2004. And Brian Lamb of C-SPAN and this professor do a hit piece on me. And notice that they don't have any facts. They don't have any data. They're saying broad things. They're using labels. And there's a lot of disinformation here. So we're going to go ahead and go through that. Here is C-SPAN. And I'll be stopping this, making comments throughout it. Again, there's Brian Lamb on C-SPAN and doing his little hit piece, and we're going to try to counter it in the little bit of time we have left.
Thanks. Coming up at the top of the hour, we're going to talk about conspiracies. On my way in this morning, I was listening to a radio show that many of you probably hear overnight called Coast to Coast AM. George Norrie is the host. They had Alex Jones as the guest, and Mr. Jones is the fellow who has a radio talk show based down in Texas, I believe. You can hear it in some places around the United States. And he was talking about how all the decisions have been made at the Bohemian Grove Club out in California. That's where all the people involved in the worldwide leadership of governments and where they make the decisions, including President Bush and his father, meet out at the Bohemian Grove, make the decisions. I think I heard him say this morning that the George Bush president and Dick Cheney sealed the deal out there at the Bohemian Grove Club. There are plenty of websites that you all...
Okay. And again, I'm going to be stopping this and making comments. I went out to Bohemian Grove in July of 2000. We went in, all the rumors were true. They were doing occult ceremonies. It's been on national TV now. That's all admitted. And I get home and my mother calls me and says, son, it was just on CNN that Dick Cheney's going to be Bush's running mate. Colin Powell told the Associated Press this while at the Bohemian Grove, that the decision had been made there between Bush Sr., George Herbert Walker, and Dick Cheney. And then I'm driving down the road and I hear it on local ABC radio on KLBJ. And later we found the news article. And Brian Lamb later brings this back up and says, well, what a conspiracy theory. Stuff isn't happening at the Grove. Why, Dick Cheney was the head of the Vice President Selection Committee. Why would he, be selected at the Grove? The Grove admits in documents they've released to the University of California at Berkeley, kind of their mouthpiece, that, we hatched the Manhattan program here for the nuclear bomb. Well, actually the A-bomb that grew into the hydrogen bomb. And, we hatched Star Wars in 1979 before you heard of it. And we hatched perestroika here. I mean, this is all mainstream news. But I'm a conspiracy theorist. I'm a conspiracy theorist because I believe there's a new world order because presidents are saying it on national television, and at least 50 groups are putting out publications calling for world government. Please continue.
We've said conspiracy is our topic at the top of the hour, and looking at Alex Jones's, and he's by no means the only person involved in this discussion of conspiracies. He makes a living off of it. But on his website, for instance, he has a listing, the impending staged capture of bin Laden. That's a lot of things people feel are organized behind the scenes with the Bilderbergers, the Trilateral Commission, the Council on Foreign Relations, the Masons. You can keep going down the list. And the Illuminati, One World Government, New World Order, Skull and Bones. Thanks for your calls during this first hour when we open the phones and let anybody talk about all these different issues. We are going to switch the topic to conspiracy. And on your screen is Professor Michael Barkin. He's in Syracuse. And I want to start by first saying good morning, but asking Professor Barkin what his favorite conspiracy is.
Well, the favorite conspiracy that I would have as a scholar of conspiracies is simply the one that tries to explain the most.
What's the cover of your book has the big eye on it. What's that mean?
Well, that, of course, is the reverse side of the Great Seal of the United States, and the image is taken off of the back of the $1 bill. If you look at a lot of the conspiracy theories that are out there, they tend to regard that so-called all-seeing eye at the top of the pyramid as a symbol of the Illuminati,
Okay, let's go back over just a few of the things that Lamb said. He comes on and he says, Mr. Jones makes his living at this. Well, what do you make your living at, Mr. Brian Lamb? I mean, I love that. Peter Jennings gets $7.5 million a year reading off a teleprompter, and that's okay. And Cheney makes billions off his control of Halliburton while he's vice president with no bids allowed, but that's okay. But I'm bad because I'm a muckraker and I expose corruption. I love that argument. I'm the only guy I know who makes documentary films and tells people to make copies of them, who says it's not copyrighted. I mean, these people are sick. Then he goes, oh, Alex Jones has impending stage capture of bin Laden. Yeah, a White House official told me that over 2 years ago. I wrote a news story about it 2 years ago. It's on prisonplanet.com. And now Madeleine Albright in December of 2003 says that everybody knows in Washington they've already got bin Laden. They're going to roll him out. Then Senator Grassley says it. Top generals say it in newspapers. This is all in the last few months in 2003 into 2004. They may now not have the stage capture because we've exposed it. Then there's the questions of how do they have the stage capture? He died of natural kidney failure, according to my White House source. Could be disinfo. I said that 2 years ago. And they're going to roll him out, his dead body on ice, say they killed him in Tora Bora. And then magically we start hearing they're right on his tail in Tora Bora. They're going to catch him for the election. I'm just going off the facts here. Just like I told you about the drills at NORAD. Just like I told you there was video at Oklahoma City of McVeigh with all these Arabs that work for the FBI and the BATF down the street in their bomb gear. And here it is in the Associated Press today. Oklahoma City bomb document cites video of multiple suspects. And they declared national security on the video. I've been saying that. That's in my first video I made in 97. I'm the conspiracy theorist. Let's go back to these establishment pomps trying to do damage control.
eye at the top of the pyramid as a symbol of the Illuminati, the secret society who allegedly are masterminding the New World Order takeover.
Well, let me start by asking you also what a conspiracy is.
I would regard a conspiracy belief as the belief that there is some organization operating covertly to reach evil or malevolent ends.
Overnight, I was telling the audience earlier, I was listening to this radio program that has millions of listeners overnight called Coast to Coast AM. George Norrie is the host. It used to be hosted by Art Bell. And they talk about UFOs. Overnight, they had a gentleman on by the name of Alex Jones, who has a talk show in Texas, I think, and it's heard in communities around the United States. And he was talking about the Bohemian Grove Club, as if that's where it all happens. That's where all the decisions are made. There are thousands of people go there, and there's some kind of a ceremony surrounding an owl and all that. Have you followed?
Okay. Let me move quick here. Don't have a lot of time. Number one, the biggest conspiracy is to say that there are groups that want total control and to dominate. Everybody wants to rule the world, as the song goes. The whole world, history, is empires and dictators and emperors trying to have world dominion. The wildest conspiracy theory is that there's a New World Order group that wants a world government. The CFR's own publication, Foreign Affairs, bi-monthly, every issue says they want a new world order, a world government. Undersecretary of State Strobe Talbot, we're going to get rid of national sovereignty. It wasn't a good idea. All these quotes, all these comments, there's literally thousands of them. Multiple presidents calling for new world orders. Prime ministers calling for new world orders. And the ultimate conspiracy is to say that there's a group that wants a new world order. The UN, the World Federalist Society, the CFR, the Trilateral Commission, all these groups call for a new world order, and then he gets into, space aliens. I don't talk about that, folks. Some people do. I talk about stuff I can prove. So they try to mix that together, the provable with the unproven. And then he goes to the professor and goes, what about Bohemian Grove? And the professor goes, oh, there was a crazy guy, went in there with a gun, and was going to do all this stuff because he heard it on Alex Jones's show. Richard McCaslin, I believe, is a government operative. From the evidence, I can't prove that. Some Marine who worked at Six Flags as a stuntman tries to come to Texas and tries to meet with me. I refuse. He'd show up down here at the studio. I say, everybody, that's a Fed if I've ever seen one. And I don't just say that about people. Then all of a sudden, he goes into the Bohemian Grove in the middle of winter. When he told the police and the local paper, he knew no one was there. The globalists are there in the summer. He goes in dressed up in a Captain America outfit with a skull mask over it, yelling Alex Jones, waving a crossbow and an unloaded rifle, and the police come and get him, and he goes into custody saying, Alex Jones, Alex Jones, Alex Jones. And thank God I never was involved with this guy or would talk to him, because it was a sting op from the beginning. But if people are doing crazy stuff in the woods, it's going to attract crazies. Let's say McCaslin's really just a crazy. It's going to attract crazies. It's not my fault if I report on the news what somebody's doing and nuts are attracted to it. Nuts are attracted to other nuts, if he's just a nut. But it doesn't fit that. So go back to it, please.
Yes, I have, even though the show is on past my bedtime. But Alex Jones has been talking about this for quite a while. The Bohemian Grove, of course, is a privately owned redwood grove up in Sonoma County north of San Francisco, where every summer there is a get-together of the wealthy and well-placed, all male, who get together for general cavorting, socializing, lectures, symposia, and so on, in an atmosphere that is completely removed from public scrutiny. Alex Jones and some others have suggested for a long time that there are all sorts of nefarious rituals that go on. And as a matter of fact, a couple of years ago, and I talk about this incident actually in my book, someone who had listened to the Alex Jones show about this was arrested within the Bohemian Grove, very heavily armed, because he said he was trying to bring attention to what he thought were human sacrifices that were being committed by the elite who attend these gatherings.
What about Skull and Bones?
Skull and Bones obviously gets a good deal of attention simply because A, it's secret, and B, the members are people who often turn up in high places later in life, and we'll certainly hear lots about it this year because both George W. Bush and John Kerry were members.
The reason Skull and Bones is important is because we've now seen 3 presidents from there, a bunch of different CIA directors, the heads of the big banking establishment. They admit they do macabre satanic rituals. It was caught on video by the New York Observer. It's been on national television, throat-slitting, hailing Satan. It was on television, and they admit it. I snuck into Bohemian Grove. That's the type of weird garbage they're doing too. Ritualistic mock murders. And they just move over that and go, every time they mention the Grove now in the New York Times or on C-SPAN, it's, well, a crazy guy went in there and said he heard it from Alex Jones. And then now that's what we hear about Bohemian Grove. But Skull and Bones is important because they swore an oath to Skull and Bones above all others. Then they ask him what the Illuminati is, and he says, oh, founded by the secret German societies. Exactly, that then admittedly founded Skull and Bones and the Bohemian Grove. This is, I mean, they're the crazy people. They're the weirdos. We're just exposing it.